liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners, wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection, and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio. Net Radio.
energy, music, and vibes to start your day right.
You want me to jump off a mountain?
Well, everybody, good morning to you. And of course, welcome to it. Good to have you here on the Era TT Radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean, taking you above and beyond on what is a wet, very wet and rainy Tuesday morning. Yeah. Wendell had to remind me of that this morning. So, good morning wherever you may be, TNT, up and down the Eastern Caribbean, those of you on the wider world. Thank you very much for making us that choice each and every day, getting up with us. Sir Charles, that is me. Happy am I to be here with you as we welcome everybody. Wet and rainy, yes, but this is your Get Up and Go. Welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line. Let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Oh, good vibes rolling through the air. The breakfast show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Well, good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and good morning to our listeners and viewers wherever you are across the planet on this Thursday morning. Of course, the weekend begins tonight, people, at a second after midnight, and don't you forget it. A special good morning to our listeners and viewers in Trinidad and Tobago, up the Caribbean and across the planet, wherever you are watching and listening to us from. Welcome. We know you have a choice of what you do in the morning, and we're glad you chose us. A special good morning to Wendell, my co-host, and Sir Charles. And you wanted thumbnails, you get thumbnails, Sir Charles.
A good thing you didn't say you wanted fingers.
Good God.
Really, this morning,
You always have to go down some kind of sordid road, don't you?
So what you having? You having nothing, huh?
I said thumbnail.
Sir Charles called early this morning asking for a finger. And he missing the finger, so nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
At the beginning, Sir Charles telling me it's Friday today. I said, no, Sir Charles, today is Thursday. Yeah. I don't know, Sir Charles, like he get up in a zone, like he hung up too tight last night.
I don't know what it was, but I just get up and felt like it was Friday.
Mm-hmm. I feel that way sometimes after Monday.
Yeah,
as soon as Monday passes, sometimes I feel like every day is Friday. Anyway, good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe, especially our listeners in Trinidad and Tobago, where it has not stopped raining for the last, almost 24 hours. We've had spurts we have had times when it has stopped, but really it has rained 24 hours. So we're going to speak with Khadija Ameen, Minister Khadija Ameen, local government minister, who must be having a tough time with the weather and what's been happening, because we're hearing issues of flooding in different parts. I think even Arima doesn't flood, folks, but there's a part of Arima I saw trending last night by Kun Street there, Richard.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's a river that passes down that area. That had water in the road yesterday that made it impossible. They said for the first time, they've only seen it twice in all the years it has happened. So I saw that trending on, I think it's the Malabar group. I'm part of a group called Malabar something, So Angela, Marcel, Angelo, right?
Yes.
They would have been commenting on that group. I think they're all part of that group and people who live in that particular area.
And remember, Angelo Marcel was discuss the case with us. But,
yeah,
but he didn't.
I don't know what.
Yeah.
But that is gone dead.
But I don't know if it has gone dead. It's just out of the spotlight right now. While I think it goes through whatever it's going through.
Yeah. But anyway, we here. I had gate problems yesterday too because I think the rain affected my gate motor, so I have to put it. So yesterday I came home in the pouring rain and couldn't open my gate. You understand? So I had to sit there and wait a while, and then eventually I had to go through the rain. You know what I mean? Because it just wasn't stopping. And manually, well, eventually got my gate open, and then eventually I had to just put it on manual because I just think it must have been flooded too.
Why these things just give trouble at the worst time, you know. But
Yes, you're right. You're right.
it's a good time.
Mm-hmm. So now it's not a time for your gate motor to be conquered out with this rain. And my son is such a spoiled child. Lord, I said, yeah, where do you him out park outside? I said, no, you get it, put it on manual or you get it fixed.
Yeah.
He's contented to park outside and that's it. Where these children come from?
How long I supposed to get my gate fixed and I haven't done it?
Your gate is not work thing.
Now my motor's been out for a while, but there's a story. You know, I always have a story.
Yeah,
And when I bought that particular, I had to upgrade. I had to update the old one, and I had gone to buy this new one. I'm talking about several years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went to buy the new one, I went to the same place I bought the first one that I had.
Mhm.
But when I went in, I find the carpet looking dusty. I find everything looking run down. Anytime you go in a place and it's run down, they're about to. But they were still selling, and she bought out the one for me. And all the instincts telling me, Richard, you really buy a gate? They'll find somebody else because they're not looking like they're going to last much longer. And they didn't what I'm talking about.
But you're get at a special price or closing on sale.
What special price, Wendell? What are you talking about? So anyway, they come out and they bring it out. And I find even the gate, you know, the box that come in looking dusty. Against my better judgment, I still went, like, you know, where fools fear to tread. I treaded like a fool.
You went on the horizon.
I said, by the way, the place looking dusty. And I telling Nikhil, you know, your place, your environment aesthetic is not very encouraging.
You told her that?
Of course I said that. I said that you know it looked like all they're going on clothes. She said, no, we couldn't change the carpet just now. And I buy that cotton bag together with the gate motor, which lasted, I kid you not, maybe 2-3 years. Mm-hmm. Of course, the company is now closed down.
Oh dear.
It closed down like maybe a few months after I was there. So my instincts were right. So follow your instincts, people.
You did buy cotton bag then.
I did buy cotton bag. My instincts were right, and it counted out. But I still used some of the technicians, and they came out and they tried until I just said, you know what, I'm wasting too much money having technicians come out here. Forget it, leave it so. I will get a new gate from a company that looks freshly painted and with clean carpets.
I use a guy called Mark Walters. I think he listens to us from Diversified Technologies. He has been excellent, and I've recommended to many people. And Mark is very fish. He works alone. Sometimes if you call him today, you'll get him next few days, but still when he comes, you know,
he's not an emergency man.
Unless you're really convincing, you know what I mean? But he is very good at what he does, you know what I mean? So good morning, Mark, if you're listening, and he's an excellent gate technician. You know, he's the only one I use actually. I rather leave my gate there. You know, as you said something there, Richard, I'm curious, where did the term cotton bag come from?
I don't know, our English speaking forefathers and ancestors, I guess.
Somebody pointed out to me the other day that I always say and call that George, and they asked me, well, what does that mean? You know, and I Googled it and I saw what it meant, you know what I mean? But where did cotton bag come from? Somebody message us and tell us, where did the term cotton bag come from? Because they always say that you're buying cotton bag. What does that mean? What is wrong with a cat in a bag? What is wrong with the bag? What's wrong with the cat?
You're getting very intense.
as we talk cat,
That's all. Let me ask my friend. Where does the term cat and bag come from?
The phrase cat out of the bag dates back to the 16th century. It
Got it too,
refers
no,
to
we're not here now.
where farmers sold a piglet in a sack, but would secretly replace it with a less valuable cat, revealing.
Yeah, continue.
In the past, farmers would sell piglets in sacks, and sometimes shady sellers would swap the piglet for a less valuable cat, tricking the buyer. So letting the cat out of the bag means revealing the truth or exposing a secret. Quite the sneaky word.
Okay,
it was supposed to be a piglet, and they put a cat.
Yeah.
So
Thanks so much for that explanation.
And I don't know why I might prefer piglet in bag.
Medieval market scam theory.
I don't even have a reply.
All the happily married, all the happily divorced men will know the term cat in bag.
They say also that in the in medieval times also the cat o' nine tail that you hear about. They say somewhere it was stolen in a bag.
Yeah. The people used to get licked with cat o' nine tails in prison. I think that was part of the punishment. Part of the punishment was licks.
Yeah, so that is, like they used to store that whip in a bag. So I don't know if that's probably part of it also.
Okay, but as we talk cat, we met it, and Richard is stalking me. People, he is stalking me and people who come to look for me. So yesterday, this lady came to my place. She did the message otherwise, and she did say, I've never met her. I don't know who she was, right? But she had messaged me, and we agreed that she would come to Rumbox, right? And she came yesterday. The minute the lady see me, she said, "Oh, but you look so handsome. It's a good thing I have a husband. You're lucky I have a husband." I said, "Well, we can find somebody for him, you know."
I didn't hear that conversation.
Nah, you don't hear that.
I didn't hear that conversation.
You don't reach yet. You don't reach yet.
Oh, that's an excuse.
2 minutes after, in walks Richard Raghubasi. You understand? And it so happens that the lady who visited yesterday is a long-standing listener of ours called a Central Animal Lover.
Yeah.
We've
That
never
was the first
met
time
her.
that was the first time I met her too.
Yeah. So good morning, Miss Bernice, Central Animal Lover, who we met for the very first time yesterday. And it so happens, as she just like Katia and Charles, Richard was just there on spot, so she met both of us at the same time.
Yep. And we took a pic to prove it.
Yes, we have a pic. Where did you? I sent it to you.
Yeah. No, you didn't send it to me. But you know what? Let's go to our good news, because else we will start running a little behind time.
All right.
We're chit-chatting, and we still have to say good morning to all of the people who were there early. Let's go to our good news.
It's around 6 a.m. and we are up and on patrol in Grand River. Trinidad is a real place. And we're out here with Len and Sherry this morning. Let him cook.
Enclosure has a temperature logger and has a device to measure. You see these two white things here? So what that is actually doing, they're trying to determine, as these eggs are developing below the sand, whether or not there is sufficient oxygen available to all of these nests that are so close together. So we always will bring the guests on tour here and explain to them what does high density mean, what are the challenges on a high density beach. Obviously, we have seen last night turtles dig up each other's nests because there are so many of them. So if we could annually relocate 500 nests, and you do that 500 by 100 eggs, chances are you're putting more babies again into the system. So you're churning out more babies. The more babies you can churn out, is the better prospect the species have in terms of being able to survive over time. You really need to do everything you could do to protect it.
So folks, right after we head to the guest house for breakfast, in which I must say was very good. and then was off to visit Mount Plaisir. So stay tuned for day 2, part 2 of our Grand River adventure.
A little good news about Mount Plaisir and Grand River and turtle watching and stuff like that.
Have you ever done it?
I think I did it years and years ago. Remember, I told you we were filming in that area, so I did it around that time. But I've never stayed. I mean, I think Mount Plaisir has been taken over by ADCO. It's one of the ADCO experiences.
Okay. I haven't been up there for a while.
So, you know, so it would be interesting, I suppose, to do it. Not with
Every Trinidadian should do turtle watching. Every Trinidadian.
Yeah.
In Tobago, there are places to you go. But every Trinidadian, and the preferred place to go is Grand River. You see hundreds of turtles. And you will be amazed.
It's an experience. It's an experience. It's kind of humbling, I guess, if that's the word, that you could see nature at work and reminding you that, you know, you're not really alone on the planet, that other life forms inhabit here, and they have their rituals too. Yeah.
Amazingly, you hardly ever see, I mean, for people maybe on cruises, they may see turtles, but you don't generally, I mean, if you won't see a turtle like that out in the ocean. So, you know, I don't know, God alone knows where they actually, how they just appear. And in their hundreds they appear, and especially in Trinidad is one of the few places that they come back to nest. You understand? So we are special in that, and to see the process take place, it's an amazing process. Trust me. And I don't know how cruel people could climb on them or interfere them. I really don't know how people do that, but thankfully they are in the minority. Thankfully, you know.
Well, you have to remember that Trinidad is named after, you know, the Catholic sentiment of the Holy Trinity. So we're really named by Catholics. So all of the small churches, take that in your pipe and smoke it.
Peter, see us be preaching after this. You never see him praise. You go ahead. Anyway, so what did I? I did send the link. We're gonna speak with Minister Amin.
In the next hour, we're going to be speaking with Minister Khadija Ameen.
No, next hour?
Yes, at 7:15 a.m. If you bother to read things that are sent to you, you would know. So we would be speaking to at 7:15 a.m. because that's what's in the email. And what's in the email is law. So 7:15 a.m.
She messaged me a short while ago to ask me to send the link via WhatsApp for her because she'll be on the road. So she'll use a picture, right? Because she, of course, because of what's been happening, she has been very busy, you know. So let me just confirm that 7:15, because I think I tell her 6:30, you know.
Well, we can't go against what I put in the email.
Now
you're confusing the issue.
My knuckles are hurting me. It's been wrapped so hard.
Yeah, good. So you and your child don't have finger issues today.
Once she's on the road, she'll be able to take the
But let's say good morning to all of the people who are already commenting in our streams via YouTube and Facebook. Let's say a big good morning to them, starting off with
why am I not getting? Oh, okay, I was using the mouse wrong. I don't normally use a mouse, you know, but I have a mouse today for a specific person. Susan Jessup, 1:49 a.m. God Almighty and your Son Jesus Christ, thank you for the showers of blessings upon the earth. From Susan, Suzette, and Gemma. All right, Miss Gemma. She said she's so loving the rain. No, Susan, I don't like rain. As I say, I agree with Richard. Rain should fall between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. and stop. Melissa from Charflair, good morning. Margaret Thomas, Joyce Philip, Boy Bidesi from David. The rain is falling, but I have to go to my garden. It's a good planting day. This is the planting month, actually. Marlon Motley says good morning from North Valsayn. Robert Taylor from Fernandina Beach. Marcia Rock from Orlando, Florida. Ingrid from Tucson, Arizona. Chris Toussaint, who said he's on his way to Trinidad for his uncle's funeral. Condolences, Chris, on the death of your uncle Clyde Toussaint. Lennox's brother.
Okay.
He said, Richard, he wants 2 tickets for the play.
Okay.
All right, so he'll be in
Right.
Trinidad this weekend. Carol Guevara says blessings to all from Chaguanas. Wendy and James from Arangwes. Some of these people don't put where they're from, but I know them. I know where they're from. Cheryl Seeley says Thursday blessings to everyone. Sherwin Kerr from Arima. Sherwin, so with Juliet is with your wife this morning? No, he get both up and had to put his wife, but he stopped. I don't know what's going on with Sherwin. Brennan Smith from Goodwood, Tobago. Cheryl Johnson, Erica Charles says good morning. Just a great guy also says good morning to the top breakfast show in the Caribbean. Reach for the skies. We are reaching. Thanks, just a nice guy. Odell Guy says morning. Larry Charles, that wonderful man who sells snow cone wrong by QRC there. And that business must be going over 40 years, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's been there forever.
Yeah. Best snow cone you'll ever eat.
Since I was a little boy going to school, I used to go there.
Yeah, that was saying it, that business there. And then, anyway, I ain't going to tell the man, I ain't going to say the man business, but I'm glad I have to intervene at once. Subash Mangal says good morning again. Diane Payne, good morning. Net and all on the live chat. Donna Ramluchan says good morning, Sir Charles and all. Well, Donna is just Richard and myself after Sir Charles. Kathy Ann Charles from Cascade also says good morning. I hope you had a good workout in the gym. People, don't forget to walk with your scuba gear to work. Wayne Ramsey from Fort Lauderdale. Anthony Tinto from Ontario, Canada. Lennox Francois. Good morning, young men. Have a good day. You're right, when Central Animal Lover see me yesterday, she said, but me, you look so
good. God, stop giving that.
You look so good. Richard Jeremiah, good morning. Ann Smith from San Fernando. Ann Noel from Oshawa.
Eva Smith, it's Eva Smith, you mean, right?
Eva Smith, what's it?
You said Ann, it's Eva Smith.
My apologies. Eva Smith from San Fernando. You see, it's a good thing you're starting up for you. But look how you're monitoring the chat today.
No, I'm just reading what's on the screen.
Okay. Doreen Pierre, I said Ann Noel already from Oshawa. Doreen Pierre, Lambert Bruce from El Dorado. Patricia Defoe, DL says good morning. Good to be home on a day like today. I know someone else who's thoroughly enjoying today, DL.
Good morning, CJ.
CJ from New York. CJ, I see New York is expected to have rain in the next few days too. Shoma Paul says good morning. Apollonius, good morning, Sir Charles, Wendell, and Richard. Not Richards. Ron DeSantis Jr. says buenos dias. Rena Boodoo Jennings from Pity Valley. Shoma Paul watching you all on the television. Julia Batiste Magic. Michael Robinson. From Yokohama, Japan. Michael Robinson. Donna Ramlo-chan. Do you believe one could become addicted to talk radio? Yes. Especially if you're listening and seeing us at the same time. Especially us, I can't speak for anybody else. Alistair Hart from San Fernando. Andrew Joseph, Beauty Culture. Richard, you are hoot. Okay. Yes, he's a riot, not a hoot. Michael Robinson agrees. DL, all happily divorced men will know the cat in bag meaning. Well, we know that now. Ram Norris says thankful and tremendous blessings. Morning, everyone. Valerie Mendoza, Melchizedek. Mrs. R comes in and is that Richard, that woman will worship. Does worship the ground you walk on? The very ground.
She's Mrs. R.
No,
but Mrs. R.
She hook, line, and sinker. She going through. Lester Cragwell. I used to have people so too, but it don't happen again.
Lester Cragwell. I might be. Where were you? Were you saying Lester Cragwell? I'm low. Oh, you're a little bit lower down.
Because some of these people already greeted us.
Okay. Right? Okay. Right.
So I skip them if they greeted.
Yeah. I get you. I just listened.
Kathy Ann Charles also said Arlene is locked on from Bronxville, Texas. Give Arlene the contact to message us, Kathy Ann. Let her know how to get actually send a message. Kurt Hope, good morning from Nashville. That's a new name. Carl M. Jack from Tagarigua. Carlem Jack, what did I see the other day on your Facebook page? And I was to ask you about it. I'll remember this now. Lyndon says, happy morning, guys. He's from Mausika. Yes, Leicester. True. They've been there forever. Ambrose Blah from New York. Good morning. Anthony Atwell from Marabella. And Mrs. R is laughing. Don't just laugh. Make sure to put everything for each other. Don't let him catch in and like some people just catch in and after years of marriage and you know what I mean. And Nazir says, good morning, guys, from Barrackpore. All over flood. It seems all over had issues with that rain.
Hopefully the weather improves today.
I did tell Khadija it was, well, Minister Amin, it was 6:30. So I'll just tell her look out for the call. Right? Unless you want to squeeze it in quickly.
I don't understand what you're asking.
Trying.
You told her 6:30. That's the
I did tell her 6:30. My apologies.
Yeah,
I did
know,
tell her.
Which is not really our interview time. You're very right, Sir Charles. But we can accommodate. But what I'm saying is, what are you telling me? It's nothing for me to do. Why are you directing it at me?
Oh, so you want her to go ahead and let her log on?
Well, if this is the time that she's agreed to, we can't guess as our priority.
What she explained is that today's cabinet also too now, so she wants to get everything out of the way early.
All right, go ahead.
Right? So I'm gonna tell her log on now. Right?
So while you do that, let me say good morning to Miss Sampson over there in San Fernando, wet and rainy. Also to Kent. Oliver, good morning to Oliver, to Archbishop Ashton Clark. Riaz, good morning to you and your family. Norris Ferguson, good morning. Frank is already in Aruka, so I found out where Frank is from. So, Mr. Andrews, good day to you. And Mark, Mr. Beeps is locked on very early this morning. So those are all the people on the WhatsApp.
All right, let me do the newspapers in the interim, or at least how many I get through before Khadija joins us. Minister Amin. Sorry, I said Khadija.
Yeah, I know. It's after
it's
calling her that for years, you know.
I should be respectful. So anyway, the Trinidad and Tobago Newsday today on the front page, ex-acting police commissioner on new nominee, Guevara can be good top cop. That's what he says. I'm not so sure who's that ex-acting police commissioner. Who the hell is that?
Well, it had to be acting, so it can't go be Gary Griffith, and it wouldn't be Erla Christopher.
Not Donald Jacob.
Right. That would be somebody who was acting.
Yeah, who was an ex-acting cop. So McDonald Jacob says he can be a good top cop. So that's the main headline on the Newsday. The main picture is that of Rainy Day Blues, Vijay Bim, Minty Bim, and Anisha Bim sweep off water that settled outside of their 1 mile Penal Rock Road Penal home on June 11th. As a result of the rain, some people will be struggling. Some people hate rain more than us. Yeah? Hot, heavy house sitting on Friday. I don't know what that means. The air conditioner's not working out. I don't know. Warriors left it all on the pitch. York delighted despite loss to Costa Rica. And Kishon throws to silver in Finland. So that's the front and the back of the Newsday. Moving along to the Daily Express front page. House of Representatives meets tomorrow on Police Commissioner acting DCP nominees. The Police Service Commission picks top cops, and of course it's Alistair Guevara and Wayne Meister. Of course, we didn't know who Alistair Guevara was at all, but I assume he is a regular viewer and or listener to this program. So,
I'm sure he is.
Officer Guevara, we need to speak to you, and this is the first set of people they need to speak to. You're watching them. Yeah. So get in contact with us, please. You could send your information via the WhatsApp number 2811315. After the House of Representatives vote, I know it might be inappropriate until they have actually selected you, because they could veto
if they actually select it.
If they select you, yeah. So that's it. So, but was a name we didn't really know. So obviously
nobody knows the name.
He's one of those. Well, not nobody.
Well, when I say nobody I spoke to knew him.
Yeah, he's a special branch officer. So obviously he he would have been doing a lot of, I assume, very good work behind the scenes. And on the back page of the Daily Express, 3 lives, 1 tragic loss, emotional tributes, honor Steve Kizzy, engineer. I think they were involved in that accident. And West Indies women draw first blood. York proud as Soca Warriors get into knockout round, still improving. Humphrey and Joseph top primary schools test. And Sammy, bowlers need to pull their weight. That's the front and the back of the Daily Express. Moving on to the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for this morning. Alistair on top. Police Service Commission reveals its pick for police chief. Everybody using the same picture. Like nobody have another picture of Alistair Guevara.
But they had one with him with a mask on. They were either using that one or the other one.
No, they're using the one with the same kind of blue suit. So
yeah.
Acting senior superintendent beats out his current boss. Meister also nominated as DCP. How does he beat his current boss if you're going to be deputy commissioner? Because his current boss, Junior Benjamin, wouldn't have applied for deputy commissioner. I don't think.
No.
Have applied for commissioner.
Is that what the article infers?
Well, that's what the headline says. Acting senior superintendent beats out his current boss. Meister also nominated as DCP. Unless he's an acting superintendent.
Navarro, I think he
Maybe
is.
Maybe he is.
I think he is. Yes. Yes.
Waiting in the rain. Pictures of people waiting for the commute. That's the main picture. And South residents ID Trini detained in Venezuela. So like Southerners know who he is. And on the back page, York happy to advance. And of course, we still have to have an interview with Dwight York. We don't talk sports much in terms of our guests, at least not yet. But we need to get Dwight York to talk about Soca Warriors and their journey to get us to the World Cup, which is being held in the CONCACAF region. So that's it for our 3 dailies this morning. So you see?
Could you see Minister Amin is there?
No, she isn't. You could see to Wenda.
No, you told me that last time and I don't know.
It's not some magical screen that only Sir Charles and myself will see. You will see too.
Where?
Right at the bottom where you're watching your face at the bottom of the screen. They come up right there until we let them in.
Everything comes up at the bottom there.
Thank you, Sir Charles.
Well, okay. So I told her to log on. So, all right. Well, in the meantime, I guess we could talk. Let's talk a bit about Alistair Guevara, because as I said, I reached out to some people yesterday, and I sent. Of course, I got the information early, and I started to send it around and ask him. Well, nobody could say who he was. I know that he was a special branch. Well, he is a special branch officer. And they were indicating a couple of things he was involved in. But I can't say that I know him at all. I can't say that I've ever heard the name. Almost like Junior Benjamin when he became deputy and then acting. It wasn't a name that a lot of people knew.
Yeah, you're right. You're very right.
Yeah.
It wasn't a name that was very familiar.
No.
Yeah.
No. And now we have Alistair Guevara. So let's wait and see. But I'm agreeing with Carl Guevara, though. Alistair Hart say at least he has a good start. He has a good first name. But I don't know. Based on the news last night, it seems they're already hinting that they're not going to go with that choice. Based on how the news was reported last evening, right? I don't know him, as I said.
Did any of the members of parliament comment on it? I don't think they would.
No, it will be inappropriate for them. But how they crafted the news last night, they started off by reminding people about the criticisms that the current PSC had from the opposition when they were in opposition, and now they're in government. So they reminded people about how they criticized the selection of that PSC, right, headed by Dr. Wendell Wallace. So you understand where they're going, right? And then they came down the road and saying, well, he was a special branch officer, almost kind of linking him, and then they said that if they don't go with the first choice, then they will go on to the other choices. So the news went all day.
So who were the other choices?
They didn't name them. They have only sent forward one name. Of course, you know how this goes. They sent forward, when Gary was selected, I think they had actually sent forward all the names, right? and then they went down the line in the parliament, right?
I can't remember.
Remember, they didn't select the first, second, and third. Eh? They said Gary was up, in fact, the fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they specifically wanted Gary. So I mean, I don't know if it because of whatever barometers that the Police Service Commission uses to select the candidate. This is where I always have a problem with that process. Because if it is that politicians eventually decide, then what is the point of a selection process?
Yeah.
If you're in, it's almost like you're telling the selectees or selectors, even though you're independent and even though you're a commission, I still want to have the last say on whether you write, and I will decide whether you write in your selection. So the whole process becomes, a little murky, because then you have politicians deciding on and what are they deciding on? Because obviously the Police Service Commission would have certain standard criteria in which they're assessing everyone in terms of assessing who is getting the most points and putting it on a set. So it's very, one would assume it's very dogmatic to the figures and to the numbers. In terms of recruitments that I've been involved in, it's always a numbers game eventually, because at the end of it, you start to collate, and then you have the emerging top contenders.
Yes.
Once they cross a certain percentile, because sometimes if you don't have a certain percentile where people cross, then you go again. But if it is that they cross that certain percentile, then you start to look at the top 3 and the top 2 and stuff like that. So they would have gone through their process, and then it goes to cabinet, to parliament, and then parliament could decide, no, we don't want the first, we don't want the second, we don't want the third, we don't want the fourth, we don't want the fifth, we're going to the eighth. And that's saying,
at the end of the day, Richard, politicians have the last say with almost everything,
so then nothing is truly independent.
No.
So what is the point of the independence of the selection process if you're not trusting it? It's like we always have a caveat that, I'm not so sure. You're independent, yes, but I trust you 100%, so I still want to have a say.
Yeah. But we will poll that issue with Mr. Guevara. And I guess, I always tell people, no news sometimes is good news. The fact that you've never heard his name called before means he's never been one of those officers who got in trouble, for want of a better word. You understand?
No bacchanal. Say bacchanal, man.
Yeah. They said he is a stellar police officer and he's very bright, So, I mean, and he would have had to be big to get where he is now as being the top recommendee for Commissioner of Police, So, Mr. Guevara, all the best on Friday. Let's see what the politicians do, because at the end of the day, your future as Commissioner of Police, or selection as Commissioner of Police, really is in the hands of the politicians, and the politicians who have the majority. It's always been that way, So,
and if we continue in that kind of vein also, I think it says to other persons watching on that, I don't think I want to get involved in that process. So sometimes we may never really get the best, because people realize that, the politicians are making that decision, and all the hard work and all the people who have the expertise to choose these people, their decisions are going to begin. So I think we need to get past that.
Yeah. But Andre is also saying that the PNM, when they were in government, changed the process from submitting a full list to instead a single name at a time. So we don't know what other names will come up after Guevara, if he is not selected, that is. To me, right now, it really doesn't matter to me, huh? But
they may decide they want to go with Junior Benjamin. They can make that decision. Yeah, they may make that decision because, of course, they would have met him there, and he would have had some level of interaction with the Minister of Homeland Security and the Minister of Defense and the cabinet to some level. He may have met with the Prime Minister. I'm not sure. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, if he was engaging enough, they may be inclined to continue with him, depending on where he's on the list.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Interesting times.
But if Mr. Guevara is rejected, it means that they continue. I don't know if immediately another name comes forward. I don't know how that process is going to work. But we remember Mr. Stephen Williams in the last iteration of the government. They continued extending his acting. I think he was extended on 6 occasions back then. You understand? And he was never actually appointed Commissioner of Police. He retired as a deputy. Right? Junior Benjamin is in the same position. He's a deputy commissioner acting as commissioner. You know, so.
Well, let's find out what's going on with Khadija Ameen, and she has to click enter studio, so maybe she's not clicking enter studio, or maybe she's busy. I don't know. So,
well, I know she.
Well, I think she knows the drill. She's been here before.
Well, let's face it. If we don't get her this time, we're gonna get her at 7. But I'm going to be calling her phone at 7 o'clock when we go for the break if she doesn't join us.
Well, at this point, let's open up our lines then, because we didn't interface with our listeners. So we can open up our lines at this point, 281-1315, 281-1315. Let's bring it up nice and big for those of you who sometimes need to see things nice and big. So 281-1315, 281-1315. We're taking some of your calls at this point where you can get interactive with the show before we go to our morning poll.
And good morning, Dean, Allen, Hill, Benj, Cheryl M, and who else joined us at the end there? Hill, Benj, Cheryl M, Andre, and Ambrose Bias here, Marlon Motley. That's exactly it, Richard. All right, so we have some new people join us down at the end. All right, so let's go with the calls.
Caller, good morning to you.
Good morning. Several questions I didn't hear anybody ask this morning. Mr. Guevara, I have to assume, would be a DCP. And we haven't heard if he is a DCP already.
No, he's not.
He isn't a DCP. So
no, they said I think his rank is senior superintendent.
So they move somebody from senior superintendent to acting commissioner of police.
Wait, if that's what he applied for, and Dixon applied to for commissioner of police, you can apply at any rank.
Yeah, I guess the portfolio allows you to do that now.
Yes.
And I think what my star has gone up as elevated to DCP. I think this is a strategic move just to elevate my star so that my star would eventually become commissioner of police. Right? I think this is a strategic move to do that. Right?
A strategic move by whom?
I wouldn't say. But
because the PSC
my star is going to be commissioner of police. Right? I'll leave it there.
All right. I can't see the new government getting involved as yet, being blamed for anything that comes out of that process, because that was a process that started before they came into office. So if that's the road people want to go down, I wouldn't agree with that. That this is a move of the new government to push certain people. I can't agree with that. Sorry.
Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen. Virginia, front and center. The PSC, with a change of administration, does that organization also have to change, or is that something, regardless of which administration is in power, does that remain in place? And lastly, did we hear who were the other contenders? And I'll leave it there. Thank you very much. Have a good morning. Cheers.
Yeah.
But the PSC is a creature of the president, not so, Richard?
Police Service Commission is a commission. So commissions have certain protections constitutionally in terms of their independence.
And that information as to who the others, we don't normally get that.
No, we don't know. We don't know. Unless they leak the list, we don't really know.
And so far that has not happened, really.
No.
Hello, morning to you, caller.
Good morning, Sir Charles, Wendell, and Richard.
Good morning, Zina.
Good morning, Zina.
I'm just saying good morning, and I noticed of late all you look doing like if we come like an afterthought. So catch all yourself, and know that
Who's the we? Who's the we? Who's the we?
One like me and Lincoln and so. Right?
Lincoln does message in the chat. You could message in the chat too. You'll call your name every morning if you message in the chat.
I lie down under my blasted blanket. Right. So,
somebody teach Zena how to message the chat. CJ and Mrs. R.
You snooze, you lose.
Yeah.
Good morning to all those who are locked on.
Good morning.
Everybody, a very wet morning to you all. When they'll just your mouth and hear what I have to say.
Morning, darling Zena. Our darling Zena. Our special darling, lovely.
Yes, that is better. That is better. Good morning. And Paulie, if you're locked on at all anywhere, good morning. You know, this kind of morning is a morning for me and you. Me and more. Bye. Locked on.
I don't know. Gone from here. She called the names who not on the program. Wendell. She called the names who not on the program. What? Gone from here.
Scrum.
Oh my word. Eh?
CP, good morning. CP, good morning. I got messages from whole day yesterday. I can find back my number.
Good morning, Mr. CP.
Morning, Paul Richard.
CP. All right. Right. Hello, good morning, Cora.
Morning, Sir Charles.
Morning,
Wendell. Morning, Richard.
Good morning.
So, you know something? I looked, same thing Wendell was saying, when I heard it, when I was listening to the news last night, and then they said that with the Commissioner of Police, the names that were submitted, when the news mentioned, and I don't know why, the news mentioned that when they were in opposition, but the government now did not approve of 3 persons who are sitting on the commission at present. So I tell myself, so why that kind of come into the news? Because if they don't approve of 3 persons, I tell myself, whoever name is there, they're not going with that because they already don't recognize, they don't approve, right? So I feel they don't recognize those 3 persons. So that person's name will be out the window.
That's exactly how I interpreted it.
So I find, when I listen to the news, I like to analyze everything else and not being a conspiracy jumbie, but I feel something up with that. Have a good morning.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey. You gotta put up a little picture of her, Richard. Minister Amin, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Good morning to all of you in studio and, of course, to all your wonderful listeners.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Minister. I know that
thanks so much for joining us this morning. Yeah.
We know that you have a full day and you have had full days since assuming office because we've just had awful weather. There's nothing anybody could do about the weather, but certainly the challenges are there for several communities in terms of flooding and so on. I know you had also started on a flood mitigation exercise, but of course the floods are already here. So give us an update as to what's been happening and what relief you can be bringing to some of the communities that are experiencing flooding at this point in time.
Well, thanks to the flood mitigation program, a lot of those water channels are clear or are being cleared, so the water is running out faster. What we have now, we have moved from a yellow level to an orange level riverine alert. It means that we have not seen an orange level in quite some time. So it means that those major rivers such as the Caroni River, the South Oroput River and so on, they are full to capacity and overflowing in some areas. So for instance, last night in the Manuel Congo area, the El Carmen St. Helena area, the Piaco area, the Caroni village, as well as the Bamboo area there, all systems will go in terms of ensuring that the pumps were operational. I must say that Minister Jillian John is doing such a tremendous job with those major water courses. Unfortunately, though, you have a lot of erosion that took place where the banks were not maintained over the years. And because of that, what they say is the bank is compromised. It means water overflowing, it's gushing into people's homes. We are sending persons to do assessments and so on. But what we have done Last night we dispatched dinghies and something called a troop carrier from the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment and trucks to transport students because we have exams going on. Form 5 and Form 6 students are doing exams today, and we don't want their exams to be disrupted. So we have put measures in place to transport them up to this morning in the San Rafael area, the San Rafael police station. We have in the community of Greenvale, while the community of Greenvale is currently dry, you have such elevated river levels in that area and rain continues to fall, so that we are putting systems in place to shuttle students if necessary. We have a unit at the San Rafael police station there as well, because in those areas you have rising water levels continue to raise. I have communicated with the Minister of Education, and if it is only where it is absolutely necessary for us to use a primary school, he will give approval. But as far as possible, we are using community centers, whereas the
I think she had a little internet issue there. Minister Amin? Yeah, you heard when she was trailing off. Minister, are you there? Are you hearing us? Okay, I think her data finished. I hope the ministry could organize to get some data for her.
You're disrespectful, eh?
I could talk that way with Khadija. Minister Amin, are you hearing us? No, we definitely.
Yes, I think
back.
I may have lost you for a bit, but I am
yes,
here.
We lost you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were talking about the community centers, using the community centers. That's up to where we heard.
Yes, we are. So we are using community centers, and I said only if absolutely necessary, we will approach the Minister of Education for permission to use a school as a shelter. But thus far, as I said, the water levels are really high, so we are preparing to activate centers.
Okay, so there may be, in fact, people to be evacuated to these centers.
Yes, but Wendell, in my experience, people prefer to go to the homes of their relatives rather than to the shelters. And by all means, if you feel safe doing that, then please do. We ask people to put up your furniture, appliances, secure your pets, and so on. Get sandbags. We have distribution points throughout the country in every regional corporation. Don't wait for the water to reach to your doorstep. Secure your property with sandbags from our regional corporations.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So we're trying to ensure. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go on. Sorry
we want to ensure that the public is aware areas that have been flooded. Just avoid the flood water. Don't be a hero and try to drive through any flood water this morning, please, all you. And children, parents, we are here with you. So if you have any requests, up to this morning, we dispatched another unit. I want to commend our chairman of the various regional corporations that are on the ground up to midnight. Past midnight, we were out ensuring that pumps and so on are operating. And this morning, very early, we are out again to ensure that our children are getting to school safely.
Yeah. What is the status of the Caroni River? I know you said there was an orange level riverine alert, but I know a lot of times people look at the Caroni in terms of the north-south carriageway that connects north and south. It's a major artery point. Is there any worry about the Caroni River level?
Yes. The Caroni River is at over 100% capacity in some areas. So in the Manuel Congo, in the Champuna area, all that is the Caroni River basin, So up there you have some areas where it is overflowing. In the El Carmen, St. Helena area, it also exceeded the banks. In the Caroni village, as well as in the Bamboo area, Caroni village had some flooding last night. In Bamboo, it reached to close to 90%. But the pumps are working. The pumps are working in Bamboo 2 and 3. So that is really saving the village there. But I tell you, the level of neglect, remember St. Augustine is bounded by Caroni River on the southern boundary. So I have been there in opposition. The farmers would have taken me down to see the level of erosion in some parts of that bank. I remember us begging the former administration to strengthen the riverbanks, and nothing was done. So Minister of Works, Jolene John, is doing a tremendous job, but I don't envy her because she has so many years of neglect on these major water courses to fix. And we are in the rainy season. A lot of that work should have been done in the dry season. You have buildup of silt in the river mouths that should have been cleared on a regular basis that she is now attending to. So where the banks are eroded is the places where it will burst the banks first, and that's what we're seeing. But we are trying to respond by ensuring, as I say, we have pumps and so on working to remove the water, so you will not have as bad as flooding as as you should have in an orange level.
All right, but I think we might have lost her again. But anyway, thank you very much for giving us an update, Minister Amin. We head to the 7 o'clock news. We'll be in touch. Yeah, I think we lost her again. All right, so we go to the 7 o'clock news, folks. We just got an update from Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, Minister Khadija Ameen, on what's been happening with flooding in various parts of the country. She's on top of it. Sorry. So we will we are going to go for the news, and then we come back. We'll do a poll and we'll take your calls and chat with you today. It's a rainy day. Only one person under a blanket. So.
And who knows, Richard might have a story or two on the other side.
Oh yes, he has a story.
Yes.
At all. But then please give Khadija Ameen a call, Minister Amin, to let her know that we moved on to news, and we thanked her.
Yeah, no
for
problem.
the interview. Yeah,
no problem.
So that she's not trying to get back in contact with us. All right, so our 7 a.m. news is next, a little after the time, but we were speaking to Minister Amin, so we made that exception. 7 a.m. news is next.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is your news update for Thursday, June 12th, 2025. I am Amanda Mitchell with New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. The Police Service Commission has nominated Alistair Guevara to be appointed as Commissioner of Police and Wayne Mystar to act as Deputy Commissioner. According to the latest order paper of Parliament, the President issued the official notification for Guevara's appointment on May 9th, while Mystar's notification to act as Deputy Commissioner was issued on June 3rd. Both appointments require the approval of the House of Representatives. Alistair Guevara has served in the police service for over 2 decades, with key assignments in the special branch and investigative leadership roles. Wayne Mystar, also an assistant commissioner, gained national visibility during the 2011 state of emergency, serving as police public information officer and head of the Traffic and Highway Patrol branch. Most recently, Mystar led public trust and community initiatives, including the launch of a crime tip hotline. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar has criticized the central bank governor for refusing to divulge information to the Auditor General for the second consecutive year. Remember last year, when we had the $2.3 billion missing, it was because the central bank did not release information or allow the Auditor General to get the accounts to do her work. It has happened again, she said. In response, the central bank revealed that the Auditor General no longer functions as the external auditor for the central bank, with BDO Trinidad and Tobago taking over as external auditor from October 1st, 2023. The central bank stated it remains willing to provide information to the Auditor General related to specific discrepancies in fiscal accounts. The Auditor General had audited the central bank's accounts for at least 14 years, up to 2023. A police officer assigned to the Besson Street Police District discharged his firearm on Tuesday after 2 unidentified men entered the compound of the TSTT EMR exchange. Around 9 a.m., An officer on duty noticed a hole in the southern perimeter wall of the compound. 2 unknown individuals dressed in dark clothing with white plastic bags covering their heads were seen entering through the breach. When one suspect, who appeared to have a firearm in his waistband, reached for the object and raised it, the officer fired a single round from a Mossberg 12-gauge shotgun. The men immediately fled through the same hole, and several explosions were reportedly heard outside the perimeter as they escaped. The Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service has extended its adverse weather alert at the yellow level to 4 p.m. today. The TTMS says there is a medium 60% chance for periodic heavy showers and isolated thunderstorms to return during the early morning, with an increased risk of street flooding and landslides in areas with saturated soils. Major rivers are currently below significant thresholds, but are steadily rising as a result of today's rainfall. The TTMS warns that winds may become gusty in the vicinity of heavy showers and thunderstorms. You are listening to news on New Era TT Radio. In business news, Scotiabank Trinidad and Tobago has reported $340 million in profits after tax in its 6-month financial report ending on April 30th. The results showed a $17 million or 5% increase in profits compared to the same period last year, when it reported $324 million. Total revenue was $1 billion for the period, an increase of 6% or $55 million over the previous year. Based on these results, Scotiabank declared a dividend of 70 cents per share for the second quarter, with a total dividend of 140 cents for the first half of 2025. Managing Director Gail Pazos thanked staff, shareholders and customers for their support, saying, "This strong asset growth underscores our commitment to optimizing market conditions and ensuring consistent value creation for our stakeholders." In international news, Harvey Weinstein has been found guilty of sexual assault in New York after a sex crimes conviction in the state was overturned last year. A panel of 7 female and 5 male jurors deliberated for 5 days before unanimously voting to convict the disgraced film mogul on one of 3 counts. The jury found him not guilty of an additional sexual assault charge and have yet to return a verdict on a rape charge. The conviction is in addition to a 16-year sentence that Weinstein has yet to serve after being convicted of sex crimes in Los Angeles. The trial was based on testimony from 3 women who accused Weinstein of using his power in the entertainment industry to sexually abuse them. Weinstein has been accused of sexual misconduct by more than 100 women, and his conviction galvanized the Me Too movement. That concludes your news update for today. I'm Amanda Mitchell for New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. The Breakfast Show with Wendell, Richard and Sir Charles continues right after this short break.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
This summer, give your child skills of a lifetime with several bootcamp. Children between the ages of 5 to 17, come enjoy Children Iron Chef Competition. Your child will learn to prepare healthy breakfast, lunch, dinner, CPR, first aid, and conflict management. With field trip, your child will be given free apron and certification upon completion. Call 492-7397 or 336-4935. Institute of Health and Fitness Company Limited, located at number 79 St. Vincent Street, Puna.
Mornings just got better. You're locked into Net Radio Breakfast Show, fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
Granny Mago say if you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon. Loud. Granny Mago say if you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die. She in front of concert mall, and I can't come back with that old life for she at all. Under the sun real hot and the day dry, the white lion makeup go make you cry as the excuse for my tardiness. For my girlfriend not to hack up when she moodiness. There's a flood on the main road, fly out on the main road. A donkey cart coming down at the relief is low, but there's a flood on the main road. There's a flood on the main road, fly out on the main road. A donkey cart coming down at the relief is low, cause there's a flood on the main road. Tonight we going theater, Granny later gain it on the water. So I take a little bath by the standpipe, and I know she go be real vexed with me tonight. So I have to think of my best lie. Tonight I go fake a cry. Whole evening, baby, I'm feeling sick. A bad roti put me in the toilet. And as I leaving home, Samantha call, cause Clanny getting big in the dance hall. But I can't tell me darling that at all. So I lie and tear by me, the rain it fall and cause a flood on the main road. Fly on the main road. I don't keep out coming down at the relief is low.
Morning vibe, fresh energy. This is the Net Radio Breakfast Show.
At the relief is low, but there's a flood on the main road. There's a flood.
All right, everybody, and of course, we welcome you back. Of course, this is New Era TT Radio, and if in your area where you are, you may be experiencing any floods on the main road, we want you to be very, very careful, okay? Let me just let you know what's happening inside our drive time exchange with Tony Fraser a little later on this afternoon between 4 and 6 p.m. Of course, once again, Tony brings to you the brings to the microphone persons who have triumphed over difficulties in their lives and, of course, made something of it. And today he will be talking with Baliram Maharaj. Also, he'll be talking with God Sinclair and an executive of God, Ansem Isaac. So all of these individuals will be talking with Tony this afternoon inside of the Drive Time Exchange. And of course, just to take a little note, because that will be the next time you will get the YouTube feed live. Okay, people? Nice. So take a couple messages and we'll be back to the breakfast show.
Oh my gosh, we're packing up because we are going to Naparima Bowl.
Naparima Bowl, we coming. Naparima Bowl, we coming back.
Oh God, we have to take all of these. Everything have to go.
June the 14th, you don't want to miss it.
Listen, you see how tight it is to get through this? You better get your tickets early. 14th of June, Naparima Bowl. One show only.
14th, we coming on. Let's go all this today. That's straight there? What? Tell all they know I walk by.
Somebody help!
Sensational. Yeah. What didn't I do for you, girl?
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Last call, Cipriani College, last call. RSR Productions, Married and Mischievous is on its last call at Cipriani College. The #1 comedy that has everybody talking and laughing comes to Cipriani College for a final 2 nights. Saturday the 14th of June at 8:30 p.m. and on Father's Day, Sunday the 15th of June at 6:30 p.m. Treat your dad to this comedy, Married and Mischievous at Cipriani College. Tickets available at the usual outlets and at the Cipriani College box office from Monday 9th June. Don't miss this one. Adults only. Last call, Cipriani College, last call. RSRR Productions, Married and Mischievous is on its last call at Cipriani College. The #1 comedy that has everybody talking and laughing comes to Cipriani College for a final 2 nights. Saturday the 14th of June at 8:30 p.m. and on Father's Day, Sunday the 15th of June at 6:30 p.m. Treat your dad to this comedy, Married and Mischievous at Cipriani College. Tickets available at the usual outlets and at the Cipriani College box office from Monday 9th June. Don't miss this one. Adults only. All right, so we are back. Somebody's thing is open. I think it's too soon. So we get another echo.
Yeah. Get another echo for Charles.
So Charles has to adjust some. Okay, he just did. All right, so of course we are back, and this is the second hour of the breakfast show. I just want to remind people, of course, that tickets are available at the Cipriani College box office from 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. I know some of you did brave the rains yesterday and did go to that box office because tickets are in short supply. So get your tickets early. Of course, tickets also available at K Squared Fashion, at West Mall, East Gates, and at Brentwood Mall in Chagonas. You can also get tickets at Electronics in Arima, Jabili Rawi in Tunapuna, Chanflay Auto Services, and Antoni's Florals in Val Park Shopping Plaza. Get your tickets all over at those spots. And of course, if you can't make it to the box office or an outlet, don't worry, you can take advantage of our online bank transfer in the comfort of your home. You can visit our Facebook page at RSRR Productions Theatre for the details of how to accomplish that, or you can call 481-2185. It's the number on all of the ads, 481-2185. For more information. It's easy and convenient. So we're giving you access all over the place to get your tickets. We're so looking forward to Cipriani College on Saturday at 8:30 and Sunday at 6:30. And of course, Sunday is Father's Day. It's an excellent gift for your father if you want to be the favorite child.
You know me, I don't do the Father's Day and the Mother's Day thing, so I haven't done it in, well, sometimes the family will come together, but it's not a must. I mean, because we've lost our parents so long ago that, you know, I mean, we are still fathers and mothers, but I don't know, my child, I don't even know if my child is even telling me Happy Father's Day, you know.
I often ask you that, if, you know, even though like you may have lost your parent, so they too have not really followed the tradition either.
Yeah. I have one child that's called me father, and next one that's called me pops. One will call me daddy, and next one will call me papa. That's it. It's 4 different names I have, you know. Pops, daddy, father, pops, papa, and daddy. Yeah, what I say?
Well, pops and papa sound old. Just putting it out there.
Well, those are my two sons. You understand? My daughter would say father.
It's like if you're walking on the road by then and somebody say pops.
No, I just get uncle.
Pops.
I get uncle. I sure you say uncle.
I get bro and cuz.
What did you get, Richard?
Get cuz.
Bro and cuz. Sometimes red man. Every now and then I get red man. Hey, red man. You know.
Yeah, I don't know, but I used to get red man before I started playing cricket because I was bred like you. I could show you old pictures like that. But once I went into that Hudson every weekend, trust me, pigmentation changed.
Yeah, you know, you have those people that stand up outside like hot shop and stuff like that, and to ask you for something to eat or money. You know, well, at so many places now.
Yes.
You meet people like that. I get wrong. If you were to call me pops or daddy or hey daddy or pops or papa, hey dad, they have a one they say daddy, they say daddy or something so. Yeah. You ain't getting nothing from me.
I get big daddy sometimes.
So when you hang out with somebody call you daddy?
You see, face. I'm telling you the
Daddy.
truth.
I know there was a collective strips across the country. I don't know if you heard it. Maybe the rain covered it up.
Well, look, it's pouring rain now in Arima. I'm sure it's pouring rain by you now, right?
But there was a collective strips and all the people watching us on TV and online. Everybody went. They call me Big Daddy. You hear that nonsense in China? They call me Big Daddy. Anyway, we have a morning poll. We didn't do it, so we can do it now.
Yes, we'll do the poll now, folks.
There we go.
Do you expect the Parliament to confirm Senior Superintendent Alistair Guevara as Commissioner of Police? That is going to happen in the Parliament on Friday. They are going to debate. Minister Roger Alexander will move that motion for the debate of the selection of a police commissioner. Right? The top contender is Senior Superintendent Alistair Guevara. Right? So that's our poll this morning. Yes or no? We're going to take 5 minutes of polls. Or 2 minutes? How long, Richard? How long you want to do this poll for? We're going to take 3 minutes of polling, all right? So you can call in also too, right, to engage, but we're going to do it mostly online, right? So start sending.
Just make it a flush 5 minutes, you know?
Okay, all right.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Yeah, so 5 minutes of polling. So you can start voting now. Do you expect the Parliament to confirm Senior Superintendent Alistair Guevara as Commissioner of Police? That's our poll this morning. Of course, he has topped the list from the Police Service Commission as the nominee for the post of Commissioner of Police. So do you expect the Parliament to confirm him? Yes or no? That's happening on Friday. That's our poll this morning. My pen just ran out, so I have to go and get another pen. But that's our poll this morning. So 2811315, you can call us, and of course you can vote. If you're on YouTube and on Facebook, you can vote in the comment section. If you're watching us on M&E TV or listening to us in your car, you can WhatsApp us when it's safe to do so at 2811315, 2811315. Of course, if you're outside of Trinidad and Tobago, at 868 to that. The code, the national country code. But 2811315, you can WhatsApp us. If you're watching us on TV, you can WhatsApp your vote in. If you're on the streams on Facebook and YouTube, you can just comment in the section and we'll get your vote. Do you expect the Parliament to confirm Senior Superintendent Alistair Guevara as Commissioner of Police? That's our poll for this morning.
All right. When you're ready, Richard, let me know.
I am ready, like Friday.
All right. Josie Richardson said yes. Cheryl M says yes. Ram Naresh says no. Carol Guevara, no. Terence Roach, yes. Marlon Motley, no. Carol Guevara saying he's an ACP. He's an assistant commissioner. All right, maybe he is. Joyce Phillips says no. Kelcher Cambridge says yes. Anthony Atwell says no. Diane Payne says yes. So Charles, do you have any?
Yes, I have a couple of them, starting with Pauline, who says yes. Zena says yes. Frank out there in Aruka says no. And Captain Ron says no. And just coming in, I have Sean is saying no.
All right. Alistair Hart says no. Beauty Culture, no. Slick Money Grip, no. Carl M. Jack, no. Ava Smith, yes. Susan Jessup, yes. But Beauty Culture, I'm not sure how could they go with Maisa if he's not on that list. Not because he was promoted to DCP, it automatically means he is on the list for commissioner. I don't know if you all know that.
You have to apply for it, not so?
Yeah, it would have been a position he would have applied for and gone through a process, to reach to that state. So we don't know if my star is in fact there. We don't know.
Well, if from what the newspaper is saying that he is deputy, that means he would have applied for that post.
Not necessarily.
Yes?
Yeah. Not necessarily. There are people who only apply for a deputy position. They don't apply for
Yeah,
commissioner.
some apply only for the deputy.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
do
but
you
the
expect?
point is
do
that
you-
if you apply for commissioner, let's say apply for commissioner, and can they put you as deputy?
No, that thing that they changed that. You have to apply for the specific position.
Right. So if we see in Meister name right now as deputy, that means he would have applied there.
No,
right?
he would apply for deputy, not commissioner. Well, we don't know if he applied for commissioner. That is the reality. We don't know.
Yeah, he could have applied for both.
Okay, that's basically what.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
Trini
this
gets
restrict
fit.
you applying.
Yeah. Trini Gets Fit says no. Richard. Cheryl Seeley, no. Lenroy Cunningham, no. Okay. Carlem Jack is saying he did, and he's supposed to know. I think Carlem Jack is I don't know if he's still a police officer. Beauty Culture says, oh, okay, my bad. I don't know what I mean. So what? Oh, they will go with we don't know if Meister applied, but Carlem Jack is saying he did apply and went through the process. So we'll see. At the end of the day, as long as whoever becomes commissioner fixes the police service, don't try to fix Trinidad and Tobago first. Fix the police service first. That is where all the problems are, right inside of there.
So do you expect Parliament to confirm Senior Superintendent Alistair Guevara as Commissioner of Police? That's our poll this morning. What says you?
And Carol Guevara, without any how I should put it, confirmation, has said that one of the current DCPs is proceeding on extended leave. Hence, my staff moving from assistant commissioner to deputy commissioner. That's what she is offering here as the reason why my staff was made a deputy commissioner. Right? That also has to be debated in Parliament, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, so I'm not so sure if that makes sense, but maybe it does. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because
Margaret Thomas says no, Richard. Come, folks, we have 1 minute left to your vote. 1 minute left, so you can continue to vote. We want plenty votes on this one.
Yeah. So Sexy Red says yes.
All right.
All right. They're coming in slow.
Sherwin Kerr says no. So we have 30 seconds left for your votes. You can extend that to 1 minute if you like, but we want to get people voting on this issue. And anybody who knows Mr. Guevara could put him in touch with us. We would very much like to speak with him. All right? And if he's listening, he may in fact be listening. Like I don't know anybody who do really listen to this show, right? Good morning, Miss Joanne Archie. Kenwin Henry says yes. Lyndon says no. Jude Khan, no. Ian Stewart, no. Those are some other votes coming in.
Yes.
Duly recorded.
Thank you, sir. Oh, did you all read about that plane crash in India this morning? 242 people on board, all perished. Very sad news coming out of India this morning. Thanks for the folks who would have sent me that article. I did see it online too, where there was a plane crash in India.
What a thing. Yeah, things that just happen, my boy. Oh my word.
Right.
Yeah. They say when you could step out your door and then you to step back in the door,
Yeah. Yes, there was a plane crash in Ahmedabad, carrying, well, they say that this article is saying carrying 133 passengers. So I don't know which one is correct, because I got one saying it's 242. BBC News said 242, and Gavin here just sent something for me that's saying 133. I wonder if it's the same crash.
Next thing is a different one.
No, it's the same. I think there's only one crash. The Air India plane.
Yeah.
That was leaving Ahmedabad on its way to London.
Yes, so it carried 169 Indian nationals and 53 British nationals. Sad, very sad news.
Yes, families are traumatized in situations like these. All right, well, I don't have anybody else on the poll, and I don't think we don't have anybody else either.
Yeah. All right. So, do I have any others? Yes, I have others. I have Robert Taylor saying no, and very topical. And somebody saying 204. So we know that there was a fatal plane crash in India, and we commiserate with the folks up there. All right. So we'll close out there, Richard. And then we could open up the lines and take some generic calls this morning in terms of, well, all what's happening all over the world and in Trinidad and Tobago, but it's raining heavily outside. Just know that. It's still raining very heavily. All right?
All right, so I have the results. Our poll this morning. Do you expect Parliament to confirm Senior Superintendent Alistair Guevara as Commissioner of Police? We had 32 people voting on the poll this morning, and of the 32 people, 21 of you said no, you do not expect him to be confirmed. 11 of you said yes. At one point, it was pretty even. It was a 50-50 split. For a lot of the voting, it was half-half. People were split evenly on it. But the noes went ahead eventually. So the nays have it this morning. They say no, they do not expect Parliament to confirm Senior Superintendent Alistair Guevara. But as I said, it was a competitive poll when we started, in that half was saying yes and half was saying no, but the nays moved ahead. So that's our poll for this morning. And you know what happens when I do this? It means polling is now finished.
Is done.
It's done.
So now you don't keep the polls for reference?
What reference, Charles?
My IT guy, good morning, Roland Sanka, supposed to come and show me, Richard, how to actually conduct the poll from the program. And the program itself will do the tabulation and keep it and record it for us. You know how long he's supposed to come and do that for me?
Good luck with that.
It's come like when he had to get somebody a haircut. You'll wait forever.
But there's that Roland.
That Roland.
You have people that, so this is somebody separate from the gate?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have some people in your camp, boy. You?
Yes. All kind of men that's be coming through you to do all kind of things sometimes.
But they always a delay.
And Roland is supposed to come and help me with this. I see him yet. But if Mark Walters is listening, Mark, I need your assistance with my gate. All right?
So people, we will take your calls. You can chime in on the conversations, a lot of conversations. And I'm really seeing the BBC saying 240 something went down. Right.
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe 169 came with that other story.
Yeah. Good morning.
Maybe, no, 133. That story is saying 133. So
maybe that's the early story, you know, as they go along. Good morning, Ms. Thompson.
Good morning. I did not hear. Good morning, gentlemen. I did not hear when they called my name. Mr. Meister is related to Ian Allen. So I think they're going to choose because he and Kamala tight.
Miss Sampson, I saw that message, but you know me, we don't engage in that kind of bacchanal. We don't know if Meister will be. Well, we don't know if he applied. We really don't know. Well, somebody said he did apply. We'll see what happens. But we're focusing on Mr. Guevara right now. Mr. Meister is already acting.
I don't know who Mr. Guevara is, so that's why I really didn't pull the poll.
Yeah, nobody knows him. Well, we don't know him either. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Have a good day, you guys.
All right, take care. Cheryl M is Richard. Cheryl M is asking if you are in the play. He is the play, Cheryl M. You need to go
I am not play. It's an ensemble cast that is doing really good work. Okay?
Cheryl M. Richard is brilliant. He is brilliant in that play. Go and see it. Just don't go with your underage child. Right? It's for adults only. Right? Okay, Andre, that's what I thought, and thank you for clearing that up. He said Maisa is being nominated to act as a DCP. He is not being considered for a substantive appointment as DCP, so that doesn't have to be debated. So he's just acting as DCP. Thanks for clearing that up, Andre, because that's what I thought of after I said it.
I think this is some footage. Of the air in their flight. No, it just took off.
Huh?
It just took off.
It just took off and went down like that?
Yes.
But the landing gear didn't come up. Also, it took off from India on its way to London.
Yeah, from.
Yeah, so
I'm mad at that.
So we have some people online, so let's take them and we talk as we go along now. All right?
Yeah, sure.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning again, Sir Charles.
Morning,
they gave any statistics as to about the people, passengers.
Well, this is like about
This
is like about 242 persons.
But they don't
169 were Indians and 53 were British nationals.
So we're asking about survivors, Hamsu.
No, they said everybody died. They said everybody died.
And Wendell, you have all people talking about you don't think Bacchanal. That is you and Richard's first name. The Chris Nolan with that name. So don't try that. All you indulge in Bacchanal. Anyhow, I can't stay long this morning. I'm going to deal with all you on another day. Serious, because all you chased me this morning. I am dressing to go to my granddaughter's graduation this morning. So I'm going to deal with all you another day. I locked on and while I'm dressing and listening. I'm going. Bye-bye.
What we say? We didn't say anything.
You taking on that one?
We say anything, Wendell? We not saying anything at all.
You taking on she said we run, she.
No, we're not saying anything at all.
Because we talking real Arima language this morning. You taking John?
All right, caller online. Caller, good morning to you.
Morning.
Mr. Patrick.
Wendell, Richard Aguba Singh. Mr. Charles.
Morning, sir.
I want to go first and say happy Father's Day to all the power to fathers. You know, weekend is Father's Day, right, Wendell?
Yes.
I hear no promotion for Father's Day at all, but I hear real promotion for Mother's Day.
Boy.
Yes,
So I don't get over that. Always gross about that every year. Always don't get tired.
But we can't get over that.
Don't keep in your space.
You see you? I don't talk to you.
Mr. Patrick in the know, you know, Mr. Patrick. Anyway, let me not talk your business on radio, eh?
My business? Go ahead. I
was going to talk about the color you paint your house in. You're not taking it.
I paint the house yellow, but we 15 years about.
So you see this time coming, eh?
So I don't know where you're going with that.
I just feel it to tease you, trust me.
I know. But the people who are put up to be commissioner of police, this guy, I don't even know the man's name. I never see that man before. How we could do things like that, by?
No, anybody could have applied, you know, Mr. Patrick. Once you qualify in certain areas, anybody could have applied.
You know, he's an officer. Right? He's an officer.
Yes.
But But I believe how they think of the seniority and who have the qualification.
Well, that I
Is
suppose.
that is
It's nothing about seniority. It's not about seniority.
And qualification.
It's qualifications, yes.
Qualifications, merit.
So the guy, they for 5 years and he qualified. He could go up to the rank and be a COP in front of all the people with experience.
That's the reality.
Well, something wrong with that. Something wrong with that reality, boy.
No, why is something wrong with that?
Yeah.
If the person is qualified and could do the job.
But being qualified, don't say you have the experience.
But
you could be qualified from UE or from where you come from, and you don't have no experience. All you have is a certificate. But when you
But
want
you would have had to have experience at some level, eh?
Yeah. So, well, I
you
suppose
must have experience, right? And this rainy season we have in here, nice. One of my partner called me. He said, San Rafael and Brazil flood already, right? The river will be overflow, right? I say the river, but by the horse farm now.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, I know.
He said overflow already, right? So we had a real rain, but
no, and we're still having a lot of rain. So today is also going to be trouble for a lot of areas that are prone to flooding.
Drivers, take all your time on the black carpet. Take all your time on the road. I see men flying on the highway still, by Chalo.
Yeah, that's a norm. That ain't changing at all.
All right. So if we don't talk again before Father's Day, all the power to men in Trinidad and Tobago, happy Father's Day.
All right. All the new era TT radio, many talking about. Some habits are kind of hard to break. Thanks very much, Mr. Patrick.
Somebody told me to remind you, Mr. Patrick, that this is New Era Radio TT.
Yes. Okay. Caller, good morning to you.
New Era Radio TT.
Good morning.
It's New Era TT Radio.
Did he say something otherwise? I didn't hear. I missed it.
Yeah, because you weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
Well,
Good morning, caller.
Minus.
Guys, hold on. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Richard, I have a question for you. Yesterday, we had two folks from the Citizens Against Noise Pollution on the program.
Yesterday, yeah.
And you asked Ms. Lillian a question that I want you to clarify what you meant by that question. You asked her, you said, how are you going to, how did you put it? How are you going to mitigate the balance, you said? Being that in the Trinidad space, those were the exact words, that on any street corner, you go down, there's noise, there's somebody has a speaker outside the store because they want you to come in the store, there's somebody drumming somewhere, and there's some... No, you made it sound as if that situation, that scenario that you described there, right, is something that is so, did you put it, our history of carnival and
our culture.
Yeah, our culture. Now, I want you to explain to me if this aspect or what you were trying to say, is it that you're trying to say that this noise on a regular basis everywhere and anywhere is something that is very valid, it is something that is very important to our existence, is the be-all and the end-all of our life, and if this is somehow subjected to serious legislative change, that the country will somehow suffer a lot? Is it that way? Because it sounded that way, and I've heard enough people, too many people I should say, make this kind of statement and use culture as an excuse for people suffering in their homes and can't sleep. Just last night, I couldn't sleep until maybe 3 hours this morning because
I don't know why you would have gotten that from the entire conversation that we had yesterday. I thought the entire conversation was very clear that there has to be some mitigation and balance of how noise is done in this country. We never agreed with the noise. I don't know why you took that away as the interpretation. That's weird to me.
Well, It's the way you said it in this cultural space.
Nah, I think you're looking at it through the lens of your problems and you're trying to cast it on me. But we were purely having a conversation of the reality of what the Trinidad and Tobago space is. That's the reality of Trinidad and Tobago, and how do you deal with it?
Yes, Richard. But I'm saying to you that sometimes the way we say these things, we may give people the wrong impression. Because I am 71 years old. So when you talk about that is the reality of Trinidad and Tobago, that wasn't the reality of Trinidad and Tobago 40 years ago.
But we know that.
That was the reality 35 years ago. You know, it has become reality because those in authority have sat down and a problem was allowed to get out of control, and we did nothing. Now, listen to me. Both you and Wendell must be aware of how long this problem exists. I mean, Dr. Job used to be on the radio with you all, and he raised this noise pollution problem years and years ago, and nothing was done. And I'm saying that, you know, we seem to some of us, when we speak as if it's something that we all grew up with and it's normal. It's not a normal thing. And it's something that if the authorities were doing their job from since 40 years ago, we would not have reached where we reached. So to simply say that, you know, it has become a norm, as if it becoming a norm is not in itself a problem. And this is my point. In itself, it's a problem. And when we speak about a balance, we have to be careful because we have given, imagine, I'm saying to you, that you have people in Trinidad and Tobago running bars, etc., who actually have gotten this notion in their head now that they have a right to so do, making this noise anytime, anywhere. That in itself is a problem. And I'm saying that in itself is the failure of those in authority for the last 40 years. It should never belong to them.
Yes, so, caller, and someone just put in the chat, which is such a valid argument, such a valid point. Noise for some is music for others. Do you know that they call, when steel pans around carnival time, when steel bands are practicing, that there are some people who call that noise? Do you know that? Do you know that when orchestras are practicing band rooms, there are some people who call that noise?
Wendell, you're speaking to a 71-year-old man, so that what you're trying to tell me there is not relevant to what I'm saying. If we don't understand by now in 2025 that the right for the individual to enjoy peace and quiet in their home, it is not less important than somebody enjoying themselves otherwise.
But that was the whole purpose of the program yesterday, to bring that sort of issues out and to have a frank discussion on it. We didn't take a side, you know.
I used to, but to be telling me now this morning that what is noise for some is enjoyment for others, that still is undermining the whole point of it being dealt with. That argument is not valid now. We have reached too far now to tell me that. I understand what you're trying to say, you know, but I'm saying those are the types of arguments that embolden the people now who are disturbing people's lives. And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. We have to be careful how we frame our statement, because what we keep doing is emboldening this bar close to me. The owner of this bar feels he has a right to do that, and he could never have a right in a civilized country to do what he's doing. Anybody who puts a speaker outside of their establishment any hour the day or night and blast music should never have gotten the opinion that they have a right to do that. I'm saying that we feel.
Have you ever made a complaint about that? What is disturbing you?
But man, if I tell you how long I have been dealing with this, over 30 years.
Yeah,
I have made complaints everywhere. I've gone to the police, I've written Attorney General, I've written Police Commissioner. I have been doing it for years. I'm not just talking. Yeah. I have lived it, and I'm still living it. My biggest, how should I say? The only thing is that I am happy for at this point in time is that I'm retired and I don't have to go to work, because if I was working still, I would not have been able to go to work this morning. And I'm talking about I'm living on a main road. This is madness. This has to be addressed and has to be addressed yesterday. And we don't need this whole talk about what is good for some is bad for others. We don't need that. We need, and everybody should be on the same page. Trinidad and Tobago is too noisy, and it should be dealt with. And we have to be careful when we talk about cultural thing, and we have to be very careful because we are sending a wrong signal to some people. That's my point. To some people, and who already have a wrong idea in their head that they have a right. That's my point. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good day.
And Trinidad and Tobago is a noisy country, and more Trinidad and Tobago, I would say. Because if you walk down any street, it is pretty noisy. And I remember when we were speaking yesterday, I was telling them that a lot of times I watch vloggers from visitors to Trinidad and Tobago, and they and they're saying, well, we're going down to Port of Spain or wherever they are, and that always comes to me as a feature of walking down Charlotte Street, wherever. It's just noise. A lot of people playing music and it's noise and it's accepted, but the vloggers are not really commenting one way or the other. They're not saying they hate the noisiness, or they're not saying they love the noisiness. They're just saying there's a lot of noise and there's a lot of music and stuff like that. And
Richard,
and it has become part of the culture in kind of a way. But how do you pull that back? How do you tell people, hey, you can't be playing music that loud, and if you want, put it inside your store and let your store have a certain amount of noise mitigation, so that doesn't leak to the main road. Anybody passing on the main road has to be disturbed by what you want to hear. Because remember, when you're playing music, it's music you want to hear. It may not be music I like,
right?
But it's music you want to hear that you're playing. And you start to infringe on the rights of other individuals who may not want to hear any music at all in a public space.
Your point yesterday was about the cultural acceptance, the cultural mix that we have here. And it's
I was talking about steel band and tassa and all of those things, which are noise-making instruments.
But guess what? We also have an issue with there's places that are commercial areas that you're going to get that. And then, but what happened is that we have our planning of the country, I should say, entire country, has been so poorly managed that
chaotic. It's chaotic, Wendell. Chaotic. Use the word.
Yeah.
Commercial and residential.
Yeah, commercial and residences mixing. Now he is saying he is on the main road. Now most main roads are designated commercial areas. I don't know if people know that.
But to me, Wendell, even if you're commercial, there should still be. It does not mean that the store next door has to hear the music from your bar blasting because it's commercial.
Right. So
you're supposed to have your own noise mitigation. So you maybe need to be enclosed and have soundproof doors, so that from the time anybody open the door, they hear, wine, and then the door closes. You understand? And I next door, even if I am a resident and or a commercial establishment, I shouldn't have to be subjected to what you want to play in your establishment.
Agreed. Richard, I born and grew up on Western Main Road, St. James. That's where I lived most of my life back then, on Western Main Road, St. James. You couldn't get a noisier place than Western Main Road in St. James. I moved to Arima. I have no regrets. I could never go back and live in St. James or anywhere that making noise. You see, I want you guys to the most I see any morning is birds.
And
the most amount of noise I hear birds.
Guys, I want you to hold it. We have a lot of people on the line.
Yes.
Good morning to you, caller.
So, Charles, morning again. Richard, I want to ask this question because I heard the news last night, and I always want to find out if this should be so. I heard where 2 women police officers were charged with, accepting money for HEC house and so on, right? They were charged. Now, the person who paid them that money, are they the personal persons? Are they ever charged? Because I always find you pay a bribe, you know it wrong. Why are you getting away scot-free? Why is that? If that is so,
it might have been the person who paid the bribe, who set up this thing, who made the report and set up this thing.
I don't know if they're charged, and I mean I can't answer that question. That's a police question. I don't.
No, but the person. Okay, say I give somebody a bribe, and I still can't complain because I find they take it too long to do something. But then I know it was wrong in the first place. So why?
It might not be a bribe. It might not be a bribe in your mind because they may say, "Hey, I have a contact in HTC. and all they need is the down payment. And so give me the down payment, because you have to have down payments, right? With HDC houses and stuff. So they say, what is your down payment? And they say, well, the down payment in the establishment you want to go is 15,000. Give me the down payment.
Richard, the lawyer is on the floor. Yeah. Listen a little.
Yeah. So I'm saying, so it may not be construed strictly as a bribe. I don't think it's necessarily as clear-cut as that, because they may say, yeah, give me the down payment and I'll give it to them, and you will get the house for sure. But they need the down payment. It might be phrased like that, because people not giving you. I don't think people giving you money to say. I don't think the police officer allegedly go down the road is saying, give me a bribe of $5,000 and I will see who I could get to. I don't think it's worded that way.
Yeah, no, it won't be worded that way, but I always find if you hand over money, anyway, I always say you're going to do something wrong because it's not the right place to do certain things. So you must know you want to do something underhand, and then you want to complain when you lose your money, and so on.
Okay.
Well, eventually it is somebody who's doing this, who sets up this thing, who they use to catch these perpetrators, It's often someone like that, So how could they be charged? You can't charge them if they're helping you solve a crime.
Yeah, but sometimes there's so many other people, I suppose, too, who know that what they're doing is wrong. They know that they're going under the table, but they go anyhow, you understand? Because this one gets through and that one gets through. So I suppose that kind of complicit thing is what she is talking about.
But you'll be dependent now on the same people who've been charged to say, well, this one, Suzanne pay me money, Donna pay me money, Jessup pay me money, Ian pay me money. You have to depend on them now to tell you all who pay them money before. That ain't happened.
Caller, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen. Before you wrap up here, Norfolk, Virginia, front and center. Hey, quick question and request.
How you don't ever go back and side?
Beg your pardon?
How you don't ever go back and side? You're always front and center.
Here, I hear. Hey, it seems that Trinidad and Tobago has the most strictest foreign exchange system in place. You all correct me if I'm wrong, compared to some other Caribbean islands. It seems that US or any foreign currency is easily accessible in some of the other islands. So I wanted to find out if it's possible, you could have an economist on that, not like lawyers where you have P&M lawyers and UNC lawyers. You have neutral lawyers, but find an economist who is, you consider neutral, who can give us an appreciation into why foreign exchange is so scarce in Trinidad that the only way you can get it is
actually we had that conversation.
So yeah, and last thing too, I know a lot of people say use the term, like they do in the States and they do in the States. Listen, man, just if you're speaking about something, speak specifically of a state or certain states, because I can assure you that in California, in New York, and many states in the US, each state is like a different country, and even within that state itself, right? What may be the mentality or the thought of political perspective or whatever of Los Angeles may not be the same for the rest of California, just like in the state of New York. So
I take that point. Yeah, but caller, we did have somebody on who discussed that issue you're talking about with foreign exchange.
Yeah,
obviously missed that program. And what they said, the problem that Trinidad and Tobago has is that because Trinidad and Tobago is so industrialized, and because we have such a huge manufacturing sector, that manufacturing sector also sucks foreign exchange, unlike the other islands. So because the manufacturing sector imports a lot of what they're using to manufacture, that's the big drain that's also occurring in Trinidad and Tobago, in addition to Trinidad and Tobago generally being bigger than most of the islands, and we have a lot more online spending. But he said the online part of it was a small part. A lot of it was the industrialization and the development of the Trinidad and Tobago economic sector that was utilizing foreign exchange as part of their commercial processes. And he says that's what the other islands don't have. That's why they have access to more foreign exchange.
Oh, okay. Hey, yeah, any idea who was the person that did that interview? I could look it up and,
Dr.
see
Ash,
it.
Marley
I have an
Nance.
idea.
Was it Marley Nance? Was it her?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, great. Thanks again,
Yeah,
man.
you can go back
But
to
she's
the
now,
YouTube channel.
but she's
and
now
look-
Senator at, so.
Senator Marley Nance. Senator Dr. Marley Nance. Oh, you know how long I said those words together? Senator Doctor.
All right, so let's do the.
You have a realtor banker, boy.
And and then we put a wrap on it. And
Yeah.
All right,
We'll
so
go
let's
in
go
a
back.
couple, and then we'll come back and we'll take a couple of your calls again. Don't worry. Richard can talk for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, I talking for 15 minutes. Right.
you only have about 7.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is your news update for Thursday, June 12th, 2025. I am Amanda Mitchell with New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. The Police Service Commission has nominated Alistair Gavaro to be appointed as Commissioner of Police and Wayne Mystar to act as Deputy Commissioner. According to the latest order paper of Parliament, the President issued the official notification for Gavaro's appointment on May 9th, while Mystar's notification to act as Deputy Commissioner was issued on June 3rd. Both appointments require the approval of the House of Representatives. Alistair Gavaro has served in the police service for over 2 decades, with key assignments in the special branch and investigative leadership roles. Wayne Mystar, also an assistant commissioner, gained national visibility during the 2011 state of emergency, serving as police public information officer and head of the Traffic and Highway Patrol branch. Most recently, Mystar led public trust and community initiatives, including the launch of a crime tip hotline. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar has criticized the central bank governor for refusing to divulge information to the Auditor General for the second consecutive year. Remember last year, when we had the $2.3 billion missing, it was because the central bank did not release information or allow the Auditor General to get the accounts to do her work. It has happened again, she said. In response, the central bank revealed that the Auditor General no longer functions as the external auditor for the central bank, with BDO Trinidad and Tobago taking over as external auditor from October 1st, 2023. The central bank stated it remains willing to provide information to the Auditor General related to specific discrepancies in fiscal accounts. The Auditor General had audited the central bank's accounts for at least 14 years, up to 2023. A police officer assigned to the Besson Street Police District discharged his firearm on Tuesday after 2 unidentified men entered the compound of the TSTT EMR exchange. Around 9 a.m., an officer on duty noticed a hole in the southern perimeter wall of the compound. 2 unknown individuals dressed in dark clothing with white plastic bags covering their heads were seen entering through the breach. When one suspect, who appeared to have a firearm in his waistband, reached for the object and raised it, the officer fired a single round from a Mossberg 12-gauge shotgun. The men immediately fled through the same hole, and several explosions were reportedly heard outside the perimeter as they escaped. The Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service has extended its adverse weather alert at the yellow level to 4 p.m. today. The TTMS says there is a medium 60% chance for periodic heavy showers and isolated thunderstorms to return during the early morning, with an increased risk of street flooding and landslides in areas with saturated soils. Major rivers are currently below significant thresholds, but are steadily rising as a result of today's rainfall. The TTMS warns that winds may become gusty in the vicinity of heavy showers and thunderstorms. You are listening to news on New Era TT Radio. In business news, Scotiabank Trinidad and Tobago has reported $340 million in profits after tax in its 6-month financial report ending on April 30th. The results showed a $17 million or 5% increase in profits compared to the same period last year, when it reported $324 million. Total revenue was $1 billion for the period, an increase of 6% or $55 million over the previous year. Based on these results, Scotiabank declared a dividend of 70 cents per share for the second quarter, with a total dividend of 140 cents for the first half of 2025. Managing Director Gail Pazos thanked staff, shareholders and customers for their support, saying, "This strong asset growth underscores our commitment to optimizing market conditions and ensuring consistent value creation for our stakeholders." In international news, Harvey Weinstein has been found guilty of sexual assault in New York after a sex crimes conviction in the state was overturned last year. A panel of 7 female and 5 male jurors deliberated for 5 days before unanimously voting to convict the disgraced film mogul on one of 3 counts. The jury found him not guilty of an additional sexual assault charge and have yet to return a verdict on a rape charge. The conviction is in addition to a 16-year sentence that Weinstein has yet to serve after being convicted of sex crimes in Los Angeles. The trial was based on testimony from 3 women who accused Weinstein of using his power in the entertainment industry to sexually abuse them. Weinstein has been accused of sexual misconduct by more than 100 women, and his conviction galvanized the Me Too movement. That concludes your news update for today. I'm Amanda Mitchell for New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. The Breakfast Show with Wendell, Richard and Sir Charles continues right after this short break.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Great news, Caribbean. The Breakfast Show is now on M&E TV, bringing you entertaining conversations, vital information, and influential perspectives throughout Trinidad and Tobago and across the Caribbean region. Catch us on Digicel Channel 20, Flow Channel 111, Amplia Channel 117, Blink Channel 109, Trico Channel 154, and Airlink Channel 10. The Breakfast Show connects with the Caribbean and Trinidad and Tobago like never before. We're now on M&E TV.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Last call, Cipriani College, last call. RSRR Productions Married and Mischievous is on its last call at Cipriani College. The #1 comedy that has everybody talking and laughing comes to Cipriani College for a final 2 nights. Saturday the 14th of June at 8:30 p.m. and on Father's Day, Sunday the 15th of June at 6:30 p.m. Treat your dad to this comedy. Married and Mischievous at Cipriani College. Tickets available at the usual outlets and at the Cipriani College box office from Monday 9th June. Don't miss this one. Adults only.
Of course, we are back in our closing off minutes on the Breakfast Show. And I'm just reminding you, of course, that tickets are available at Cipriani College box office from 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. You can also purchase tickets online. Just go to RSRR Productions Theatre on Facebook or Instagram for the information of how you accomplish that. And you can also get tickets at our various outlets, K-Squared Fashions in West Mall, Eastgate, and Brentwood Mall in Chagonas. Ballpark Shopping Plaza, you can go there and go to Antoni's Florals, Jabili Rawe in Tunapuna, Alextronics in Arima for Arimians who love to come to Cipriani College, and of course, Charflair Auto Services. Just some of the comments, and if you all think I'm joking, some of the comments on Facebook about the play. Michelle Baljo said, I had to apologize to the lady next to me for laughing loud and misbehaving. The play was hilarious and a lot of marital facts. Rihanna Khan attended the show on Sunday last. What a fantastic performance. Thoroughly enjoyed the show. Marissa Michelle Mirage, I laughed from beginning to end. Andy Ramjatan had the privilege of attending the show last night. It was epic. Peterson Yearwood had a great night in Sapa. My wife enjoyed our date night. Thank you guys for a wonderful performance. Dawn Milchan was the best play ever. Loved when Ole played me Cocoa Tea. Attended the show last night at Sapa. When next in South. Attended the show. This is Miss Cicheran. The show was very hilarious. Indeed, non-stop laughter beginning to end. Love it. Vidya Balkisoon. Amazing show. Noreen, please come back to Port of Spain. Alicia Ahi, epic show. Had a time last night. Miss Ramdeen, epic show last night. Sasha, epic show. Loved every minute. Amazing show last night, Naoka Williams. Just giving you a sense of just some of the comments.
Sorry to cut you, but we want to speak to Captain Ron just quickly, who's a pilot who wanted to give us an update on that airline crash. He was trying to get in since before the news, but we have him quickly before we sign off. So Charles, you have Captain Ron?
Yes, we do. Captain Ron, good morning.
Yeah, morning, gentlemen. Morning, everyone.
Morning.
That Air India flight. It seems from what I'm on a chat with a lot of pilots all around the world, and we're talking, and everybody is looking at two things. It seemed like the airplane either had a engine failure after takeoff, or there was a cargo shift. Sometimes when you put the cargo inside, sometimes the straps or the locks might have broken and it slipped. The cargo may have shifted and stall the airplane. So right after takeoff and landings are the most critical parts of flying, because you're close to the ground and close to all the obstacles and everything. So this is what we suspect. We suspect it's the airplane stalled due to some cargo shift or an engine failure, or to the least, to the worst, maybe somebody stole the airplane intentionally, which I doubt it very much. And the thing is, this is the 787-800, and this is the first fatal crash for a 787.
Wow!
So it's kind of a, and I'm talking to some fellows who are actually on the 787 right now, and everybody came to the same conclusion. Apparently, there's been a cargo shift in the belly of the airplane, that a shift. They changed this, something what we call the CG, center of gravity, which can stall the airplane, either make the tail get very heavy and stall, or make the nose get very heavy and push the airplane down on the ground. So that's basically, we shall wait and see. But I'll keep you guys updated.
All right, we appreciate that.
Giving us something more to worry about now when you're on a plane. I hope they have the secured,
Yeah. Because I asked a question the other day, why do they insist that you take out stuff out of your hand luggage to put into your check luggage, or from your check luggage to your hand luggage, so that there's a balancing on the plane, right? A balance in terms of weight. I mean, a lot of people wonder, well, why is everything going on the same plane? But clearly it's important what part of the plane is balanced.
Yeah.
And secured properly. Wow.
Well, this is where we wrap it up on the breakfast show this morning. It's just about 8:15. Have a fantastic day, whatever you do. Remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health. The weekend begins tonight at a second after midnight.
I want to tell Scorpion Pepper there's a good chance you'll find a spouse at that play. In Richard play, there's a good chance you might find a spouse. Because Scorpion Pepper is asking, if you're not married, can you attend the play? Or is it mainly for married?
Of course you can.
You can, and trust me, you might want to get married after that play. Or you might want to get divorced. One of the two. Anyway, folks, one life, live it.
Of course, continue. The stream continues. New Era TT Radio on TuneIn, and of course on the net, newerattradio.com. You can continue to listen to great programming throughout the day. Have a fantastic day, whatever you do. This has been
The Breakfast
Show.
Yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show.